They never tell you how much strength it takes just to exist after loss. Not the big, heroic kind of strength, the quiet kind, the kind it takes to get out of bed when the whole world feels too heavy to carry. To cook a meal for one, to open the mail with his name on it. In those early months, rebuilding didn't look graceful. It was messy, uneven, full of moments when I felt completely lost in my own life. The house felt too quiet. The bed felt too big. Even the smallest routine, making coffee, doing the laundry, locking the front door at night, felt like walking through fog. I remember the first time I had to start the car after Fame Pass. My hand was on the key and I just sat there because starting that car alone meant admitting all over again that he wasn't in the passenger seat. I remember opening a bank statement and seeing his name printed next to mine and having to call and explain out loud to a stranger that my husband had died. Saying it out loud, saying it again and again, each time like the first time. But I kept showing up, not because I felt brave. I didn't. I kept showing up because I didn't know what else to do. There were things I had to learn to handle completely on my own: paperwork, bills, decisions about the future that used to be the decisions we made together at the kitchen table. Some nights with a cup of tea between us. Every time I sat down now to do one of those things by myself, it felt like another small reminder that he was gone. Grief doesn't just live in the big moments, it lives in the paperwork, in the passwords only he knew, in the calendar reminders that still said his name. But somewhere in the middle of all that responsibility, something in me started to shift. I realized that every small task I completed, every moment I didn't crumbled, was its own quiet form of courage. Nobody was there to see it. Nobody clapped, but I was still standing, and that counted for something. If this episode is putting words to something you have been carrying alone, I wrote a book for exactly this season. It's called When Goodbye Comes Too Early: Learning to Breathe Again Through Love and Loss, and you can find it on Amazon right now. And if you want more of these conversations between episodes, come find me on YouTube at LTP Hope Renew, where I share more of this journey in video. Both links are in the show notes. Now back to rebuilding. Rebuilding isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. You start learning new rhythms. You find comfort in your own company, even when you never asked for that kind of company. You discover that the strength you thought you had lost was actually growing quietly underneath the grief the entire time. And here is something nobody warns you about. One day you laugh, really laugh, and right behind the laugh comes guilt, sharp and immediate, like you've betrayed him just by feeling okay for a moment. I want you to hear this clearly. Joy returning is not a betrayal. It is not forgetting. It is proof that love didn't leave when he did. I started talking to God differently during that season. Less why, more help me. Help me to do the next thing. Help me find calms inside the chaos. Help me trust there's still a future for me, even when I can't see an inch of it yet. And somehow, quietly, he did. Through small moments of grace, a call from a friend at exactly the right time, a kind stranger at the grocery store who had no idea what that small kindness meant that day, a sunset that felt less like a sunset and more like a whisper of peace right when I needed one. If you are walking this path right now, learning to rebuild a life you never wanted to live without them, I want you to hear this clearly. Every small act of showing up is a victory. Every meal cooked, every bill paid, every tear wiped away in a parking lot before you walk into work like everything is fine. All of it is proof that love didn't leave you empty, it left you stronger. You are not rebuilding alone. You are rebuilding with love as your foundation. God, thank you for the strength that hides in small things, for the courage we don't always recognize in ourselves, for the mornings that keep coming even on the days we don't feel ready for them, and for the gentle reminder that we are still capable of beginning again. Next time, we are going somewhere harder. We are talking about faith, doubt, and grace. What happens when the person you prayed with your whole marriage is gone and suddenly you are not sure what you believed anymore? I am not going to pretend I have it all figured out. I don't. But I will tell you exactly where the doubt took me and where grace found me anyway. Until then, this is LTP Hope, reminding you that when goodbye comes too early, love is what helps us begin again. Be gentle with yourself. Until next time, take care.